Hello and welcome to the SRAM Downhill Southeast. We're here in beautiful Beech Mountain, North Carolina for the final round of this year's series. We've had 5 amazing races so far, Beech Mountain being one of the legendary venues in the Southeast. It's the perfect place to round out this year's season. Well, this has been our most extensive race season so far here in 2022 at Downhill Southeast. We started at the Trials Training Center in Tennessee, the birthplace of the race series back in 2016. For round 2, we were in Windrock, the home of downhill racing in the Southeast. For round number 3, we headed up to Massanutten and were treated to almost a brand new track. Round number 4 took us up north to New Jersey, where racers tackled the storied slopes of Mountain Creek Bike Park. Round number 5, we were in Snowshoe for a preview of what we'll see in the World Cup later this summer. And that brings us here to Beech Mountain, where it's all to play for the series overall championships. There's so much that happens behind the scenes to make an entire series like Downhill Southeast happen, from the organization's perspective and from the racers and their families getting ready to go racing weekend in and weekend out. To tell us a little bit more about how all this comes together, we've got Downhill Southeast's own Carolyn Mullally.
When Nico said to me, hey, I want to put on some races, can you, will you come and help? I was like, yeah, sure. I thought this is going to be like a pickup game of basketball, at the local court. I didn't realize it was going to grow into like a well-known national race series. When we started this whole venture, there were 2 main goals. The one was to bring racing to the Southeast. So doing that for elite riders to prepare them for higher level riding and racing if that's what they want to do. The other side to that was also making it entry level. Those are 2 completely different things. Something that we've done that really has helped support that goal is having 2 tracks at every race. And rather than just having open practice, dividing it into different times for practice. It makes it safer. You're having more skilled people out there at the same time. So I think that really helps be able to bring the newer riders up. It's less intimidating when they're not worried about being run over by somebody. We also partner with Gravity Academy.
Whenever you're ready.
It's an hour free clinic at each race. Just learning how to maybe turn a little bit better. I think that's something that's really helping these kids go out there and race bikes. In 2016, when we started this whole series, it came from some real humble beginnings. It was mainly the more elite riders coming to the races. Now, the beginner or the entry level categories in 18 and under is 1/3 of the riders that are here. So that's exciting. But even to me, more exciting is the women's categories.
You on that bike today?
We used to do the whole Bring a Buddy system just so we could get enough women to fill a podium. We had to mix all of the women's categories together just to have it be enough women out there. Now to have an elite class and a single crown class and a junior women's class and beginner women's class, and they're all full.
Yes, it will be the fastest. 3:02.84 for Shell Peugeot.
You know, it's been really good to see it grow. I'm really proud of the way that Nico and Logan were able to add in the right people at the right time. You know, we're trying to manage and keep 350 people safe out here throwing themselves down a mountain. And it still feels like a little grassroots backyard race to me. But it's when you see like the final production and like the ripple effect that it's like, wow, it feels good to be a part of something that's doing so much good.
Beech Mountain Resort has hosted downhill racing for almost 30 years. There have been some great moments from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now in the 2020s. There's only one guy on this mountain that's been there since the beginning, and that is Chuck Pitts, and we've got him here to tell us a little bit more about the history of this storied venue. I'm here with Chuck Pitts. Chuck, it's so good to have you here at the finals for the 2022 Downhill Southeast. You've had a great year so far. How are you doing? How are you feeling coming into this final race?
Good, man. Daps up. Always a joy to hang out and talk with you, Will. It's been going pretty good, man. Still doing this all these years. Pretty good year going. Here for the fight for the overall. See how it goes. See if Beech treats me as nice as it has over the years.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to seeing you come across the finish line tomorrow for finals. And speaking of how Beech Mountain has treated you over the years, I know you go way back with these slopes. When was the first time that you put tires to dirt here on a race at Beech Mountain?
Really early in my downhill career, I guess. I had raced some cross country around Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm from. And so this was kind of the first bigger mountain that I came up to. So I think that was fall of '96, going way back there. I told my buddy before we talked, I was about to do an interview because I was like basically the oldest person coming up here the longest. And I was like, do you remember any crazy stories from when we came back in the day? And he goes, well, I remember the one time, this was probably like '99. He goes, we left town and you freaked out because you lost your wallet, but you told me just catch me on the food and I'm going to win the race and pay you back. It'll all be good. And so I did just that. And, you know, so just that was probably kind of the start of Beech treating me very nicely. But it was neat back then. They did, it was a Triple Crown series, so 3 races, and then they had dual slalom Saturday mornings. It was neat. It was on the snowboard half pipe, the dual slalom that morning. And then back then we didn't use the lift, so you got a few runs on the downhill going up on an old trailer that was probably sketchier than the course. And then I did the cross country and climbed the slope about 2 or 3 times on Sunday. Went back to work in Atlanta as a messenger on Monday.
Well, Beech, it's played a role in a lot of folks' racing careers, and we're kind of in the modern era of Southeast downhill right now. Downhill racing had kind of gone away for a few years. Norba was done, but then Beech kind of brought it back in the Southeast.
Yeah, Beech had stopped, I don't know, early 2000s. And yeah, downhill had kind of dwindled away. At that time for me, I was traveling a good bit to get it, so it was what it was. But it's really come full circle now in the Southeast. You know, we're doing good, but it's took a while to build it, man. And just, you know, it's awesome that Beech kind of brought it back and have stuck with it.
We had the Triple Crown Series in 2009. The Gravity National Championships happened at Beech in 2011
Absolutely.
and 2012. Part of that legacy was the investment that was made in those race courses, and a lot of the bones from both the amateur racetrack and the pro racetrack are still here. We're at 5,000 feet of elevation, essentially, where we sit, 5,500 at the summit. What's unique about the tracks here at Beech over the years? Because they keep some of the same flavor.
Well, it's about 20 degrees cooler here than Atlanta. Hot Atlanta, and it was 101 when I left Thursday. And what's cool too is at the elevation we're at, there's a little different trees and elements to the trail. It's neat to kind of just get in a different feel, different forest. And so that's probably another thing that really makes it stands out here over other tracks. So that, I was an old BMX racer, so a little shorter course here. You can just pour it all out, not have to hold anything back. Somewhere like snowshoes twice this long, I have to manage my effort a little bit more there. So
one of the signature sections that was brought back for those national championships is the rock garden on the pro track. We're going to see a lot of that in the broadcast.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that section. It's got multiple lines and it's got a ton of very technical moves that you've got to be committed, but they reward you so much on your time.
Yeah, they can reward you or cost you. It's a rather flat rock garden. You come off the road, you have some elevation drop to get some speed, but then you kind of have to hit those marks you're saying to keep that momentum going and not have anything rob you. There are some different lines. Kind of what I've seen over the years is the wetness can affect this track a lot. It rains a lot up here, so that for me narrows down the choices of what I'll do if it's wet. But they're all pretty good lines. I think it's just kind of carrying momentum through that section is probably the most important thing. So, it's more about picking whatever line and keeping that momentum going, not having anything snag you up. But yeah, it's always been a pretty gnarly, interesting rock garden every year.
Yeah, it is. I will ride it occasionally on bike park days when it's in good condition. But like you said, when we get rain up here, there's moss on the rocks, there's some roots mixed in. When it's dry, you don't notice it, but when it's wet, it can be really unpredictable.
Whole different monster in the wet for sure. You find there's a lot more directions those rocks face when they get wet. So they're trying to take the front tire, everywhere but where you want to go. But yeah, super challenging in the wet.
Well, Chuck, we appreciate the insight, and we're glad to be back here at Beech Mountain for an epic final race. We hope you kill it on Sunday. We'll see you out there on the finish line.
For sure to send it, bro. Enjoyed it. Appreciate your time.
Well, here is our track for SRAM Downhill Southeast Finals at Beech Mountain Resort. The top drops in from the Land of Oz at 5,500 feet above sea level. This is the highest elevation summit we have visited yet on the series, and this track packs a lot of action into a 2-minute course. Split number 1 features the Upper Black Bear Woods. It's a steep woods section, no pedaling required once you get into the trees. It's got a bunch of big compressions with roots and rocks mixed in for good measure. You'll cross the paved road at mid-mountain before you drop into split number 2, which features the Pro Rock Garden. One of the most technical rock sections we have on the series this year. It's the exact same rock garden from the 2011 and 2012 USA Cycling Downhill National Championships. Nico Mullally has some good memories from that race, hopefully to make some more this weekend. There are a few different line options in here when you drop off the road. We've got a straight and direct high line and a little bit longer low line that helps you carry more pace. There's a few tech moves in there that you've got to nail if you want to keep your pace there in split number 2. As you enter split number 3, there's a huck to flat out of the woods, straight into 2 flat corners, and it's on from there into the finish as racers are on open ski piste. We've got some jumps mixed in with a few back-to-back berms before a tabletop to the finish.
It was a 15-hour drive to see if he can catch.
Well, we are getting ready for race day here at our finals at Beech Mountain. For our Pro Women's Series overall points chase, Xana Logar is in 3rd coming into this final round with 76 points. Shell Peugeot is in 2nd. She will not be racing this weekend, but she still has 101 points, which could land her on the overall after this race. But Abby Ronka is sitting on top, and she's sitting pretty. She's got 111 total points before we go racing here at Beech. Here is how seeding went down yesterday for our Pro Cat 1 women. Your series leader, Abby Ronka, is on top of seeding. She put down a 223.28, which was good enough for a 6.6 second advantage over Caroline Washam. Xana Logar seeded in at 3rd with a 236.4, Lily Driver 4th, Alana Casey 5th, and Angelica Petranthan in 6th. Sage Weiss is going to start us out of Newfoundland, New Jersey. She elected not to take a seeding run yesterday. So this will be our first look at the track for the Pro Cat 1 women. Sage coming into the upper Black Bear Woods section. It's one of our key sections in split number 1. And across the road into the Pro Rock Garden. Be interesting to see what kind of line choices we see here. Sage getting a little bottled up there on that high line. So that's the more direct of the two lines. This rock garden does continue to extend out of frame. And we will pick up Sage Weiss down here at the bottom. These are the Hellbender berms. There's a real big open section in Sector 3 to finish out this course. About 40 seconds out in the open. Weiss makes her way down. I think that was a little no-hander right there. Yeah, a bit of flair there for Sage Weiss. She's going to set the time at a 2:42.9. Lily Driver will be our next rider up out of Taylor, South Carolina, qualified with a 2:49.6. Driver will have to drop some time from that qualifying time if she wants to take over the top spot from Sage Weiss. So it's wide open off the bat here at this Beech Mountain track. A little bit different route than what we took the last time we were at this course in 2019. Drivers into this top wood section on Black Bear. A lot of gravity up here. It's all about managing your pace here, and you can see that this dirt is getting blown out. There's a little bit of moisture right in the ride line, but if you're off that ride line, it is powder. And here comes Driver approaching the road here. We're almost seeing this entire top wood section in Black Bear. That's split number 1. And it's going to be red for Driver. So she's 1.93 back on Sage Weiss.
Let's go! Come on, Lily! Let's go, Lily!
And Driver dropping down to the lower line here in the Pro Rock Garden. Plenty of edges to figure out. Pretty flat in here as well, as you can tell. So you really want to try to keep that pace up. Driver back up to pace here as she looks to exit the woods. And from here to the bottom, this course is essentially wide open at Beech Mountain. We'll catch up at split number 2, and more time has gone by. So losing about 2 seconds there to Sage Weiss. It's 3.93 into the red for Driver. Well, you can hear the crowd revving up already. Lily Driver up and over that hip jump. Not much of a hit this weekend. Most riders will be going straight. Yeah, what a great way to round out a race run. Some fast, wide open berms. The crowd's starting to gather down here at the bottom of Beech Mountain as we're approaching the conclusion of our Pro Cat 1 Women's Race Series. Well, it was about 4 seconds into the red at split 2, and a little more time goes by for Driver. She'll cross with a 2:48.29 into second place. Here's Xana Logar. She qualified with a 2:36.41, has put together an impressive season for the young West Virginian riding for the Gravity Academy. Logar has been racing all the bikes this season, making it to 5 out of the 6 rounds here at Downhill Southeast. Tidy line right there over the drop. Xana is battling for a top 3 position in the series overall. Oh, and running a bit wide right there, getting hung up in that turn. As you can see, it's steep in there, so really not that costly of a mistake. That rock garden is so much more crucial. If you lose your momentum there, you are done. Yeah, it's all about trying to stay fresh up here at the top. Xana approaching split number 1. And that's green for Logar. So 1.4 into the green. A great top split even with that little pause. Xana on the low line. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Nice flow. Oh, and she's done the on-off rock. That is a very technical maneuver. One that's going to pay dividends on the clock. I expect this split to be green in a big way. Oh, and Xana also opting for the rock gap right there out of the woods. Another time bonus. So we'll see. It was 1.4 in the green at split number 1. Oh, and Logar again sending it huge on that huck to flat. And it's 10.4 into the green for Xana. So she's been a consistent podium contender this season. Is she going to step it up to a win today? Xana Logar with this wide open finish to navigate towards the bottom. Top seeding time from Abby Ronka was a 2:23.28 yesterday, so we'll watch and see this finish time as Xana Logar. Oh, sends it deep there on the table. Holding it together on that final corner, and it's a 2:34.3. 8.6 seconds into the green. Solid run to finish out her season from Xana Logar. And here is Caroline Washam. Brought Chuppy up there for the headshot. Caroline looking primed and ready. Just took a win at Snowshoe in her comeback race this season. Caroline back on the bike and means business, coming back from that big ankle injury last year. She's done a lot of racing here at Beech Mountain over the years. Looking very quick up top. So Washam diving straight into the steep upper section, nice and tidy. Oh, and you can see the pace of her, folks. Nice and controlled there. There's some big compressions. Washam making short work of them. Conserving energy, not getting too crazy up here. Let's see what Washam put together at split 1. It's 5.34 in the green. That is huge. Oh, and you can see how rough it is dropping in off the road. Washam trying to maintain that momentum. She's got a lot of time to play with. Oh, and a nice cheeky line right there. Super flat in there, but making that one work. So the rocks are behind Caroline at this point in the run. Oh, hard hit on the fork there, jumping out of the woods. Up and over that huck to flat and straight on the pedals. Oh, and it's extended. 8.97 into the green for Caroline Washam. Abby Ronka put down a 2:23.28 yesterday in seeding. I think the track could be a little bit faster today. Ronka put 6 seconds into Washam yesterday. Can Caroline pull that time back today here in finals? It was a win for Washam at round number 5 in Snowshoe. Nice and tidy there over the tabletop. Looking to be a good final split. What will the time tell? It's a 2:22. 12 seconds into the green and faster than that top qualifying time from Abby Ronka yesterday. So Washam's put one down. Looked like a relatively clean run for where I'm sat. And it's all going to be up to Abby Ronka. She is in the driver's seat, qualifying in first at 2:23. She's going to need a drop just over a second if she wants to end this season with a win. And it's been an incredibly consistent season for Abby Ronka. One spot on the podium has eluded her, though. That is the top spot. On Ronka, sending it deep right off the bat, running a little wide on that turn. But I love the pace. Nice and tidy through that left-hander. We'll see that maybe causing some problems later on. You really want to push that one too hard, and Ronka riding smart up here. She's gained so much confidence, so much experience this year, competing in all the rounds at SRAM Downhill Southeast.
You're right on them. Go get them.
Nice and tidy in split one. Oh, and she's right there. She's in touch. It's 0.45 into the red, and Ronka goes highline right here. Yeah, that's going to be a much shorter route than Washam took through the rock garden. That has got to be worth something.
Get it. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
And you can see Abby active on the bike, pumping through that corner. And yes, that line has paid off in a big way. 1.4 into the green for Abby Ronka. She's got to keep the throttle down right here. Yes, oh, she's on the gas. That's some powerful pedals from Ronka. She's got 1.4 to play with. Abby Ronka has been third twice on the series, 3 times a runner-up. And she is green going into this final split. Clean through those Hellbender berms, great pace. She will take the series overall today as well. Can she also do the double with a win? She's clean through that final turn, and Ronka will go fastest. Look at the time, Abby Ronka. What an amazing run to round out her Downhill Southeast season, taking her first win and claiming the overall, getting some daps from Caroline. Well, there she is, folks, your winner for the day, Abby Ronka. Caroline Washam in second. Xana Logard with another podium here this season. Cannot wait to see what these ladies have in store for us next year in 2023. This is your Pro Cat 1 Women's Series overall podium. Xana Logard rounding out this season in third place. Shell Peugeot in second. Glad to have her at Beech. Hope she has a great rest of the season now that she's got some bikes back. And your champ this year is Abby Ronka. She had an incredible season, building from a third place at round number 1, took 3 second-place finishes, and climbed that mountaintop for the finals, taking the win here at Beech Mountain. Heading into this final round for our Pro Men's Series overall points, Nico Mullally has crept up into 4th place with 61 points after taking the win in the last 2 rounds. Corey Jackson sitting in 3rd with 64 points after his 2nd place finish in Snowshoe. And we've got a tight battle for the top. It is Jake Kahn and Steve Estabrook separated by just 1 point coming into the final round. Jake with 84 points and Estabrook with 85. And this is what seating looks like ahead of the final race in the 2022 SRAM Downhill Southeast Series. This is your top 10 that we're going to see on screen. Qualifying in 4th is Jake Kahn. Jake in that battle for the overall with Steve Estabrook. Jake and Steve separated by just 1 point coming into this race. Titus Nicholson getting in between them in seating. He put down a 2:02.07, but it was Nico Mullally in first by a mere 0.61 seconds over Steve Estabrook. Well, here's your current hot seat time. It's Matt Nelson out of Asheville, North Carolina. Matt's really come on strong this year. Very committed rider, long rangy guy, as you can see, soaking up that top drop. These North Carolina racers are frothing to be here on home soil at Beech Mountain. Oh, and Nelson is up to pace in the rock garden. And straight off that tombstone line on the outside. Be interested to see, wow. Huge huck to flat. Nelson making short work of it. And he's on the edge. Yeah, he put down a burner right here to end up in the hot seat. And here's Nelson. Got the number 3 plate on the bike and ripping turns like it's the 2000 Winston 500 at Talladega. Nelson starting early but taking this straight to the top of the leaderboard. A committed run for a 2:03.43, so that's actually faster than Jake Kahn's seating time, which was the 4th fastest time in yesterday's seating session. So we'll see how long that'll hold up from Nelson as Cooper Pleva from Glenwood, New Jersey gets ready to drop in. Seated in 10th place yesterday. Trying for a breakthrough result here on the Downhill Southeast Series. Oh, and Pleva taking that right to the edge of the track. Nearly swapping out the rear tire in that dust. Yeah, Pleva's on the edge right here, folks. It's an incredibly committed track. There are all these moves you've got to link up, and it's such a short one that you really can't afford not to be at full tilt from the start. So Pleva on a nice tidy line. A couple options right there. He was staying outside, carrying good pace through the section. Split number 1 then for Cooper. He's just 0.45 back. And he's on that upper line in the rock garden. Certainly shorter, but you'll see you have to make a little turn before that on-off. Off the tombstone as well.
Get it! Go, 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 go!
So Pleva going to look to open it up as he exits the woods. And that time by Matt Nelson would have been 4th in seeding yesterday. So the boys are on it today. A little more time slips by for Cooper Pleva. He's 1.98 into the red. Oh, Cooper airing it out there. Most of these riders will be trying to hug as tight as they can to that tape. Yeah, these finish berms at Beech have been in place for quite some time. A little bit bigger this year. The crew's been out, getting them dialed in as Pleva goes to flat on that finish table. And it's going to be 2.9 back for Pleva. He'll slide into 2nd place. Good time there, though, 206.21. Well, here's David Kahn out of Putnam Valley, New York. He put down a 207.5 in seating. An inside right there out of the start gate. Kahn looking for those enduro lines. Just got back from a little Euro trip doing the Tweed Valley EWS. And he's on his enduro rig today here at Beech. Oh, just skipping right over that rock feature. I love that angle from the video crew. David is flat out up here. He's got a 5th place to his name and rips that left-hander. He was 5th place at Windrock. Looks to be on pace for the top 5 today, and a cheeky inside from Kahn. So Kahn showing us all kinds of different lines inside again. Oh, and David's in the green by 1 second, and he's lining up this outside line. Oh no, looking a little messy. So David losing some momentum in there. That will cost you on the time, and another inside from Kahn. Wow. Well, let's see what's happened here at split number 2 as he pops out of the woods. He was a second up on Matt Nelson there at split 1. Gotta think that rock garden bobble will hurt him. Kahn out onto the slope, and yes, it has. Wow, he is back now by 2 seconds. So that was a 3-second bobble in the rock garden as he slams into that flat turn. It'll be a tall order to turn back 2 seconds on Matt Nelson down here. But Kahn will be pushing to the finish line. He's certainly got to be fresh on a run this short for all the training he's doing for those EWS stages. Well, can he pull anything back? Nope. It's going to be basically 3 seconds in the red. It's a 206.17. Solid time there for David Kahn slotting into 2nd. Well, there's Matthew Spong out of Louisville, North Carolina. Spong been trying to put together a run this year at Downhill Southeast. If this man can put it all together, he is dangerous. He's certainly got nothing to lose today. Spong diving down into the woods here. Oh no, a huge hit. Spong with a massive hit there on a rock on the side of the track. Let's take another look at that. Oh no. That's got to be a bulletproof rear wheel. That thing is still intact. The tire, however, has left the chat. Well, here's Hayden Gary for Ride Canuga. Qualified in 2:07. Gary put that downhill rig into 7th place. He is back out on Downhill Southeast, looking to put up a result here at finals in Beech Mountain. He's been on the tools all summer, and a hard hit there for Hayden. Wow, how did he save that? Into the tall grass, so certainly going to cost him some time right off the bat. Hard to get yourself back together and get into the run after a close call like that, about 10 seconds into your run. But Gary cracking on. Looking pretty smooth. Some huge holes in this section. As you can see, we've got plenty of gradient in this upper Black Bear Woods. Split one. Oh, wow, and he's just 0.69 back.
Let's go, Garrison.
Hayden Gary very much in touch then. If he can hold it together through this rock garden. Did not see a big bobble there. The pace not quite as fast as Matt Nelson, though, who is still on the hot seat. So Gary clean out of the rock garden there. Don't know if I'm seeing the pace for him to make up that time on Nelson. Yeah, he's falling back. 2.3 back for Hayden Gary. So valiant effort after that big mistake up top. Hayden going large right there over the step up and into these hellbender berms. Let's see what Hayden's got for us on this final table. Going inside on the roller. Straight to flat. It's been a common theme here in finals. Hard to match the backside on that table. And a little more time goes by for Hayden Gary. He'll slot into 4th place with a 2:07.24. Nice run there for Hayden. Nice recovery. Well, Ronnie Vance is ready to rumble this afternoon out of Estmont, Virginia. Full flow engaged for Ronnie. Vance is definitely one to watch. Always full commitment on his runs. Been a pleasure having him on the show this year. What can he do here for finals? He's pinned into the woods. Oh, and Ronnie with the pre-jump there over that big rock feature. Oh, and deep into the left-hander. Vance is on one in this top section. Oh, can Ronnie hold this together? He's got all the lines in the upper Black Bear Woods. Inside again for Ronnie. So surely this is going to be green here at split one, and it's green by a second. And Vance, no! Vance is down. Wow. The Pro Rock Garden at Beech claims another victim. Ronnie was on a run right there.
Have a chiller now.
Yeah, had nothing to lose here. He wasn't in contention for the overall, just trying to put it on the top of the podium. You can see not happy with it. Knows he was on a good one. Well, maybe he can take a little solace at that first split time, but not going to be what Vance wanted to put together today, as he's going to continue to roll down. Was that a bar hump on a little rock jump? Wow. Yep, Ronnie packing it in. Oh, I was hoping for another bar hump there on the rock. Well, it's been a solid season for Ronnie Vance. Certainly has been on pace at Downhill Southeast. One of our favorite riders to watch here on the SRAM Replay Show. Yeah, Vance siling it out. Yeah, that's how you hit the hip right there. Ronnie going to cruise down to the bottom and enjoy this final run for what it's worth here at Downhill Southeast Finals. We know he'll be back for 2023. Oh, and a suey for the fans there. So there's Ronnie Vance rounding out his campaign at SRAM Downhill Southeast. He'll live to ride another day as we roll into our top 5 seeded racers. Max Beaupre is a danger man today out of Hendersonville, North Carolina, riding for Factor Components, Cannondale, and Ride Canuga. He's got no stake in the overall. All he wants is a first place finish today here at Beech Mountain. The dual crown is on the Jekyll. Max has gone full downhill mode this weekend. One of the most exciting racers we have on the circuit. Oh, and great riding there from Beaupre, linking up those features. That's what it's all about on this Beech Mountain course. You've got to hit all your lines. Just keep linking them up. Next thing you know, you'll be at the bottom of this rock garden.
Max Beaupre.
Get it, get it, get it!
Well, Max riding loose here. Nice and smooth.
Come on, guys!
It's 1.93 into the green. Beaupre. No, can he hold it together in the rock garden? He is on a burner. Oh my goodness, Beaupre. What did... No way. How did he pull that off?
Come on, get after it!
Oh, and there's got to be low pressure in that back tire. That thing is swamping everywhere. Yeah, there were some hits in there. Well, yeah, interesting line from Max there. There's got to be low pressure or something going on for him to skip that rock jump. Didn't skip the hook to flat, though. Well, he's only 2.96 back. Yep, you can see that rear tire. That thing is going flat. Still able to hold pace through these flat turns, though. Well, Beaupre, a fan favorite here at Downhill Southeast. You know he's going to appreciate this crowd that has gathered here at the bottom of Beech Mountain for the finals. Oh, what's Max got for him? He's got a scrub and a T-bog. And Max going to slide around that final turn. Still not a bad time. Only 7.97 back with that low rear flat. Well, we're going to roll on to our number 4 qualifier, the man embattled in this hunt for the overall. 2:03 was his qualifying time yesterday. He's just 1 point back from Steve Estabrook, so Jake Kahn is on track. Well, Kahn will not be holding anything back. It is Kahn versus Estabrook today. Whoever crosses that finish line first will take home this series overall. These boys have been battling for 6 rounds. Was that a mistake right there by Kahn? Went in between those 2 trees. Don't think I've seen that line today yet. So Jake putting together a smooth top sector. And we've seen some folks be on pace at the top sector and throw it all the way in that rock garden. Great high line there by Jake Kahn.
Let's go, David! Yes, David. Yeah, David Kahn! Oh, shit!
He is on the edge, folks. Jake knows he's got to push it. Needs to put some pressure on Estabrook. He's 2 seconds up. So 2 seconds into the green for Kahn as he charges into the pro rock garden. Getting a little bit offline, but didn't lose any pace. Inside of the tombstone as well.
Keep going, pedal.
Oh, and Kahn on an inside line right there. Interesting. Most folks been diving down low right there. He was up by 2 seconds, 1.99 at split number 1. Can Kahn maintain that advantage? Yes, he has. It's 1.98, so it's essentially the exact same margin. Kahn on a good one, and you got to think the hard work is behind him.
Yes, I do. I have a bar coming down.
Well, Jake Kahn got to hold it together in this final berm section. Pulling some G-forces there, back-to-back-to-back berms in Hellbender. Well, here's Kahn. One final turn. What can he do to put the pressure on Estabrook? And Kahn going to cross green. It's a 2:01.21. So just outside that time of Estabrook from his seating yesterday, but that's going to put Jake into the hot seat. And he put together a great run right there. Composed through that upper wood, and you can see the pace he carried in the rock garden. Back end swapped out on him, but he held that line, and he put it into first place as we roll towards Titus Nicholson. And there he is, Titus Nicholson out of West Melford, New Jersey, back in the Dirty South, doing it for Defiant Racing. Titus looking to get a podium result to wrap up his 2022 Downhill Southeast campaign. Been battling through some shoulder injuries this year, but I think he's feeling right. Had a little bit of Eurotherapy, went over there with David Kahn, Shell Peugeot. Got some great riding in Scotland. But this is where Nicholson shines on the big bike. Time Jake Kahn just put down a little faster than Titus's seating time from yesterday, but I believe there's time to be had on track today. Titus straight through that inside line as well. Oh, and straightening out that section. Love what I'm seeing there from Nicholson. Another inside.
Oh, shit.
Oh, and it's green by almost a second, 0.91. Titus wasting no time getting on that high line. Some brilliant bike riding right there. Well, that's the fastest I've seen anyone go through that pro rock garden. As Nicholson is on the move as he exits the woods. We'll see what split number 2 says for Nicholson. He was up by 0.9 on Jake Kahn at split 1. Oh, that's a big, harsh landing, and he's lost some time. But he's still in the green. 0.32 in the green for Titus Nicholson. Doing it on that GT for Defiant Racing. When you got to think there's not too much time to be won or lost down here in these final berms. All the guys just ripping them. So Nicholson searching for that podium here at Downhill Southeast. Only 2 riders left to go after Nicholson crosses the line. What can he do to the time of Jake Kahn? And Nicholson goes fastest. It's a 2:01.01 for Nicholson. 0.2 into the green. Still a second off the time of Estabrook and almost 2 seconds off Mullally. Great run by Nicholson. He put together some straight lines on that top section that put almost a second into the time of Jake Kahn. Was bleeding time all the way down from there, but that top sector was good enough to put Titus into the hot seat. And our series leader, Steve Estabrook, is next on track. 2 riders left to go. Estabrook 1 point ahead of Jake Kahn for the overall. It's mano a mano at this point. Whoever wins today between Kahn and Estabrook will take that overall title. 6 hard-fought rounds at Downhill Southeast this year. Estabrook making that big drive down from Vermont. You know he doesn't want to leave with anything less than the overall. Steve on the gas up top, even grabbing a pedal right there. He's on that good line as well. Steve inside to inside.
Let's go, Steve. Yeah, Titus. Attaboy. Yeah, Titus. Yeah, boy. You know he's
Split number 1. Oh, and it's 300s up on Titus Nicholson. That's exactly where Estabrook needs to be. Oh, Steve trying to hold it together here in the rocks. That was a bit of momentum zapped. You can see him trying to get a couple cranks in there. He's going to be pressing. He's going to know that some time was lost. Will Estabrook be able to hold it together to the bottom? What will this next split say? So Estabrook still charging here. Oh, and he lost it on the hook to flat. No! Steve Estabrook just threw the series overall away right there. What a shame. Steve was on for one as well. That was going to be a tight finish, but not to be today for Steve Estabrook. Yeah, that hook to flat is so harsh. Video barely doing it justice. These guys going about 20 feet out on that rock. Well, it was a good season for Steve. So happy to have him as a part of the Downhill Southeast series. Wish him the best on the remainder of his 2022 campaign. He'll wrap up his overall in second place, though. That'll be a nice consolation prize for Steve Estabrook. And that means we've got just one rider left at the top of the mountain. The man himself, Nico Mullally, riding for Frameworks Racing. Qualified with a 1:59.8, the only rider to break the 2-minute barrier. Mullally looking for 3 wins in a row to wrap up this Downhill Southeast season. And Nico looking tidy coming into the woods. Right in between those two trees. Same line we saw Jake Kahn, but a new line there from Nico, gapping over a rock. Double over that compression. Yeah, and he's going to let it eat up here in the steeper sections of the Beech Mountain course.
Go, Nico!
And you can just see Mullally's on a different pace here. Titus Nicholson, our current hot seat time.
Yes, Nico. Let's go.
And Nico going outside right there. So
June
different line than what we saw from Nicholson. Inside again there over those rocks. And it's green by 0.61. But this is the most important section of the track. Mullally going to rehash some lines from 2011 and 12 when he was the fastest man on the mountain at one of those USA Cycling National Championship Series races. Oh, and Nico with a big tug. That's a triple over the rock. He was 0.61 up at split number 1. You've got to think he's extended. Goes massive on the hook to flat, and it's a 4-second advantage for Mullally. Well, what a run right here from Nico. The crowd will be bringing him home here for the final race of the SRAM Downhill Southeast Series. Mullally on that Frameworks rig, trying to make it 3 in a row at Downhill Southeast. Perfect to transition on that tabletop, and here's Mullally. Our final rider today will take the win. A 1:56.97. That's a 5-second winning margin for Nico Mullally. What a run right there from Mullally. Let's take a look at that again. And it's all about this rock garden section for Nico. He holds that high line and has a triple out of the woods. Only rider we saw tug for the triple over that rock. And that's what did it for Nico. 5-second winning margin. There's your podium for today's race. Nico Mullally taking the win. Titus Nicholson's on the box here at Downhill Southeast in second. Jake Kahn in third. And you can see Kahn all smiles because he's stepping up to the top of the podium for our series overall. put it together when it counted here at Beech Mountain to take the title in 2022. Steve Estabrook, nice consolation prize. He'll take home second place for our series this year. And Nico Malali, with 3 wins to finish out the season, will round out our series overall podium in third.
I never did a Downhill Southeast race, and I don't know, TTC, I didn't think I was going to do it, and like 3 days before I was like, screw it, I'll go. And it was so much fun that I was like, I need to do the rest of these. Oh my god, everyone's so nice and supportive, but it's good. There's a lot of fast women, so it's really competitive and pushes you. I was having a good race season all year. Got to race a bunch of fast ladies. It feels really good because I didn't win any this year, and I was hoping to get at least one. So there's 1 race left, and to get first is so exciting, and then to also take the overall was just as great.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be back to Downhill Southeast. Best series there is, and I wish that this is all that I could race. I wish there was 20 of these things. Oh, I've been racing Eastern States Cups since I was a kid, and Steve was always the guy at those, and ever since I was a kid, I looked up to him, and it's cool to just be at the series and be fighting with him for the overall. And me and Steve were locked into a pretty heavy battle starting at Massanutten, and just to go back and forth and end up taking the win over someone I've looked up to all these years is crazy. I'll beat him fair and square, all year and a couple rounds, and it's pretty cool.
From all of the Downhill Southeast crew, we say thank you to the viewers, to the families, to the racers that have come and made this such an incredible season. My name's Trill Will, and we will see you next year at SRAM Downhill Southeast.